Yeah, Yahweh, need you to return. Praise Yah. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, let's walk in the light of Yah. Return to my Yah. Oh Zion, Mount Zion, oh Mount Zion, let's walk in the light of Yah. Return to my Yah. Yah, please heal my city, liberate us in the 50, finish judgment with this 40. My city is the center stage for the world's greatest story. Sad but true, Philistines sold us to Grecians that bagged me and you. Raised our city from its pillars, cause my city be filled with the killers. Now my city awaits hot salah from Yahweh, my God. My city the home of the downtrodden. Den of sin, used to be a den of Arim. Lions for the holy Elohim. Trying to get my city back to that glorious scene, so Yah's light can shine on Kol Panim. My city be the throne of peace, Yerushalayim. But right now we fall from home alone in grief, enthralled in beef, slain in streets, covered in sheets, outlined in chalk, are blind and walk in darkened feet. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem. Praise the mighty Yah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous, Yah is holy, and let Yahweh Israel. From the house of Israel of Cincinnati, here to bring you nothing but the truth. And we praise Yah and say shalom to everyone that is tuned in our listening and viewing audience. And we know that the only reason you have tuned into our program is because of your great fear and your great love towards the mighty Yah. And who is this Yah? Yahweh is the creator of the heaven, earth, and sea, and all that therein is. Yahweh is the only judge, the only lawgiver, the only king, the only redeemer, and the only savior of Israel and the world. Yahweh is also the creator of the heaven, earth, and sea, and the one that has raised us up to bring you his words of truth. And that's what we will do. And today, or this evening rather, we're going to teach about the master and the judge. For Yahweh wants us to, as Moriah Shaya stated yesterday, bring up another level. He wants us to raise our standard and raise the bar on how we are to serve the Creator. And we can't stay at the same place that we've been if we're going to be saved by the Most High. Yahweh wants us to be ready for him. And so we learned about the king, about the prince, and about the priest, and the standard that Yahweh has for these positions. And now we're going to look and see the master and the judge. And we'll begin in Hosea, as we've been, the 3rd chapter and the 4th verse, where it says, "For the children of Israel shall dwell many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim. Afterward shall the children of Israel return and seek Yahweh their Elohim, and David their king, and shall fear Yahweh and his goodness in the latter days." So now we see the Creator said, we're going to go this long time without any resemblance, any semblance of being a people. We won't have, as Yah said, a king. And if we don't have a king, then we don't know the right way to be a king, the right way to observe a king and understand a king and be able to walk like a king and talk like a king. We don't have a king. We don't have a real leader. We don't have a prince, an heir to the king, somebody raised up to be able to take the position of king and walk in the ways of Yahweh as he should have been taught. We don't have even a prince. We don't have a sacrifice. Nor do we have an image of who we are, ephod or teraphim. But afterward, we will seek Yahweh. And how do you seek Yahweh? What did Yahweh tell you to do to seek him? What is it that we must look at? How must we seek the Creator? The answer is in the book of Isaiah, the 51st chapter. And in Isaiah, the 51st chapter, verse 1, reads, "Listen to me, you that follow after righteousness, you that seek Yahweh, look unto the rock from wherein you were hewn, and to the hole of the pit wherefrom you were dug. Look unto Abraham your father, and Sarah that bore you. For I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him." This is who you look to. If you're going to seek Yahweh and follow after righteousness, look to Abraham. So you want to know how to seek the Most High? Look at Abraham. Look at Sarah. But what about if you want to seek David? Well, he told you to look and search out David. And what kind of man was David? I'll show you what kind of man David was in the book of Jeremiah, the 9th chapter. Jeremiah, the 9th chapter, the 23rd verse. "Thus saith Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom." So you can be intelligent, you can be smart, you can be captivating and charismatic, but don't glory in your wisdom. "Neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that brags, let him that boasts, let him that shines, let him that puffs up their chest, let him that flatters, does anything to bring attention, do it by saying, Yahweh, I understand you. Glory in this, that he understands and knows me, that I am Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, says Yahweh. Which means what? David was a man that exercised in the things Yahweh exercised. David exercised in being a righteous, merciful, and a man of judgment, because that's what Yahweh delights in. And Yahweh does not delight in you worrying about how beautiful and glorious and cool you are. He wants you to glory in him. So now, what about the master? What about the judge? Well, go to the book of Isaiah, the 3rd chapter. In Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, the 1st verse. It reads, "For behold, Yahweh of hosts, does take away from Jerusalem and from Yehuda the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the prudent and the ancient." Yes. Why? Why would he take them away? The captain of 50 and the honorable man and the counselor and the skillful craftsman and the eloquent orator. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And that's all that we have here today. That's what we're dealing with today. We're dealing with a bunch of childish babies ruling over the people. Because Yahweh took away these things. The judges, the captain of 50, the ruler. He took them away. And so now we got babies and childish people ruling over us. He even said he would give those that rule over you, speaking of the women, lead you to error. Because there's no good man in the midst. There's no upright man in the midst. Where's the master? And what is a master? Let me show you what a master is in the book of Malachi. We don't have masters in our midst, but Yahweh wants us to raise this bar. No longer can we walk around and behave as if we don't have masters and don't know what a master is. Yahweh has shown you this in the book of Malachi, the 1st chapter. Start reading in the verse 6. It says, "A son honors his father, and a servant his master." Meaning what? A master is one worthy of honor. You're not just a master because you got a pistol. You're not a master because you got a bow staff. You're not a master because you pay a bill. You're a master because you are deserving of honor. A father is deserving of honor because he fathers a child, meaning he raises a child, takes care of a child, clothes the child, teaches the child, rears the child, is there for the child. He's worthy of honor. A master because he takes care of his servant, provides for his servant, rears his servant, guides his servant, structures and orders his servant, teaches his servant. If I then, Yahweh said, am a father, where's my honor? And if I am a master, where is my fear? Says Yahweh of hosts to you, O priest, that despise my name, and you say, wherein have we despised thy name? A master has servants. A master leads people. A master guides. A master orders and instructs. A master should do this in a mastery way, not in a arrogant way, not in a boastful way, not in some kind of haughty way, but in the manner where he is teaching his servants, leading his servants, providing for his servants. That's why they're going to fear him. That's why they're going to honor them, because they're standing in the gap for them. Why else you going to serve somebody if they're not worthy of this honor? What kind of a master should you be? I know we're used to massa, the slave master, the oppressor that does nothing but oppresses, the oppressor that does nothing but slains and scorns and tears down and uses you. Let me show you what it says in the book of Deuteronomy. You'll learn what kind of a master you should be by seeing what kind of master Yahweh told you not to be. In the book of Deuteronomy, the first chapter. Let's see here. In Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 13, Moses said this, what Yahweh let him know. Take you wise men in understanding and known among your tribes, and I will make them rulers over you, which means they're going to be masters. And who made them rulers? Yahweh. Yahweh made them rulers. He told Moses the criterion in which they needed to be picked. Listen to what it is. Wise men and understanding, known among your tribes. Excuse me. Which means they're people that are renowned for their wisdom, renowned for their understanding. Not foolish. And you answered me and said, the thing which you have spoken is good for us to do. So I took the chief of your tribes, wise men, and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, and captains over hundreds, and captains over 50s, and captains over 10s, and officers among your tribes. And I charged your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him. You shall not respect the persons in judgment, but you shall hear the small as well as the great. You shall not be afraid of the face of a man, for judgment is Elohim's, and the cause that is too hard for you, bring it to me and I will hear it. So you have to see that these are people, masters and judges, are people that don't deal in emotions, don't deal in feelings, don't deal in how the wind blows, but they do deal in righteousness. They judge righteously, because you have to be righteous to be able to judge righteous. How else would you know righteous judgment? The master, let me show you another scripture about what you shouldn't do. In the book of Exodus. In Exodus, the 23rd chapter, give me a minute. I wrote the wrong scripture here. In Exodus 23, we'll start at verse 8, where it says, "And you shall take no gift, for the gift blinds the wise and perverts the words of the righteous." Which means what? Somebody try to bribe you, taking gifts, and bribing you. And now that, oh, they gave you a gift, so hey, man, remember what I gave you. Remember that gift I gave you. That's not a master. That's somebody that can be bought. That's somebody that can be bribed and conned. So they'll con you. You don't let that happen. That's not how a master would rule. That's not the type of master you want over you, nor the kind of judge. Somebody that's always looking for the handout. But the scripture I wanted to show you was in the book of Exodus, the 18th chapter. In Exodus 18, verse 17 says, "And Moses' father-in-law said to him, the thing that you do is not good. You will surely wear away, both you and this people that is with you, for this thing is too heavy for you. You are not able to perform it yourself alone. Listen now to my voice. I will give counsel, and Elohim shall be with you. Be you for the people before Elohim, that you may bring the causes to Elohim. You shall teach them the ordinances and laws, and shall show them a way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, you shall provide out of all the people able men, such as fear Elohim, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be that every great matter they shall bring you, but every small matter they shall judge. So it shall be easier for yourself, and they shall bear the burden with you." See, now you have the criteria, like in Deuteronomy, of how to rule in the office of a master or a judge. A master who has servants should be able to deal in righteousness, be a man of truth, judge properly between his servants, not oppress his servants, because that's what makes him worthy of honor. And then you have to be a man that fears Elohim, hating truth, love men of truth, hating covetousness. And this is the type of judge and master you're to be. Not the kind that is a lying, conniving, coveting, fake person that won't tell you the truth, that will let you walk over them, that will be bought off. That's not who Yahweh wants you to be. Not if you're a master, not if you're a judge. Let me show you the example of a true master, somebody that ruled over people. Even in the book of Genesis, this man was a master and a judge. In the book of Genesis, 40. The 47th chapter of Genesis. We'll start reading in verse 13. And this is what it says. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very severe, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the grain which they had brought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came to Joseph, who he's the master. He's the judge, and said, give us bread. Did he say, well, I'm only going to give bread to the ones that slid me a couple dollars? No, he said, for why should we die in your presence? For the money fails. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fails. Yeah, if you had cattle and you needed to buy food, that's what you used. And if they brought their cattle to Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses and for flocks and for the cattle of the herds and for the donkeys. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle that year. When that year had ended, they came to him the second year and said to him, we will not hide it from my master, how that our money is spent. My master, that's what Lord is. That's what Adon is. That's what Adoni is. Master. He said, why should we die before our eyes? My master also has our herds of cattle. There is not anything left in thy sight of my master, but our bodies and our lands. Why shall we die before your eyes? Both we and our land. Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants to Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, and the land be not desolate. So did Joseph enslave them? Did Joseph oppress them? Joseph brought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. For the Egyptians sold every man his field because of the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt, even to the other end thereof. Only the land of the priests brought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned to them by Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them. Therefore they sold not their lands. Then Joseph said to the people, behold, I brought you this day in your land for Pharaoh. Behold, here is seed for you, and you shall sow the land. And it shall come to pass in the increase that you shall give the fifth part to Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own. You see how just this man was? You see how honorable he was? You see how righteous he was? He didn't not once oppress them and take advantage of them. Everybody was in the drought. Everyone was out of food. It was only through Joseph's wisdom that Yahweh gave him that they would even have a storehouse. And because of this, he said, look, y'all got to sell something to get this. They went all the way down to the land and their own bodies. And he said, well, okay, we're not going to enslave you. We're not going to put over you this whip. Just pay a tax of the 5th part. And the 4th parts shall be your own. For seed of the field and for your food and for them and your households and for food of your little ones. And look what they said. Did they say, give us a new president? Give us a new prime minister? Give us a new master. Give us a new sheriff. Give us a new judge. No, they said, you have saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my master, and we will be Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day, that Pharaoh should have the fifth part, except the land of the priests only, which became not Pharaoh. Now you see that there's a way to be a master where everybody is okay, where everybody is taken care of. Well, everybody that is under your service is dealt with in justice, not oppression. In the book of Leviticus, the 25th chapter, in Leviticus, the 25th chapter, start reading. In verse 25, it says, if your brother has become poor and has sold away some of his possessions, and if any of his kin comes to redeem it, then shall he redeem that which his brother sold. And if the man has nothing to redeem it, and himself is able to redeem it, then let him count the years of the sale thereof, and restore the remainder to the man whom he sold it, that he may redeem to his possession. Read a little too early. Let me go to the 35th verse. And if your brethren has become poor and fallen decay with you, then you shall relieve him, yes, though he is a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with you. Take you no usury of him or increase, but fear your Elohim, that your brother may live with you. You shall not give him your money upon usury, nor lend him your food for increase. I am Yahweh your Elohim, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, to give you the land of Canaan to be your Elohim. And if your brother that dwells by you has become poor and is sold to you, you shall not compel him to serve as a bondservant, but as a hired servant, and as a sojourner he shall be with you, and shall serve you unto the year of Jubilee. And then he shall depart from you, he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return. For they are my servants, which means what? You're not to deal with your brother who's serving you with rigor. He said, Yahweh said in verse 42, for they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen. You shall not rule over them with rigor, but you shall fear your Elohim. And what's rigor? Don't make them be field hands. Don't make them do hard, laborious, back-breaking work, moving stones and bricks and carrying whole trees on their back. Don't make them do that. You should fear your Elohim. But the bondmen and the bondmaids which you shall have shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall you buy bondmen and bondmaids. Meaning, those are the ones that serve you for life. The heathens. Moreover, the children of strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall you buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begot in your land, and they shall be your possession. So that's who you rule over. But what do they have to do? They got to keep the law. They got to walk in the ways of the Most High. If you're not teaching your servant the ways of Yah, what are you teaching your servant? What are you doing? If you're teaching your servant that they could eat horrible and live horrible and be horrible, then what kind of master are you? What kind of judge is that? That's not the type of judge that Yahweh has designed for you. No, the Most High, he wants you to deal in a true way, in a way that would glorify the Creator. This is how a master should be. What did he say? Men that fear Elohim, that love the truth. Look what it says in the book of Deuteronomy. The 17th chapter. In Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 7. No. Verse 8. If there arises a matter too hard for you in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within your gates, then you shall arise and get you up into the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose. You shall come to the priests, the Levites, and to the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show you the sentence of judgment. And you shall do according to the sentence which they of that place, which Yahweh shall choose, shall show you. You shall observe to do according to all that they inform you, according to the sentence of the law, which they shall teach you, and according to the judgment which they shall tell you, and which you shall do. You shall not decline. You shall not decline from the sentence which they shall show you. You shall do what you shall not decline from the right hand to the left. So what does that mean? What does that mean for you? That means if you trying to learn the ways of the Creator, if you trying to deal with matters in judgment, then you got to listen to what the judges tell you. You got to hearken to what the teachers teach you in the way of judgment. That's what a judge should be doing. The judge and the master should be all about upholding his law, just like the king, just like the prince, just like the priest. They're set over you to rule in justice. That's why it says in 2 Samuel 23, in the 3rd and 4th verse, he that ruleth over men shall rule in the fear of Yahweh. And when you do that, now you're bringing forth truth and justice. They might not like that you don't want cookies in the house all day. They might not like that you want your servants to get up early and hit the fields and paint the walls and become busy and productive. But this is how Yahweh does things. First day, he created light. Second day, he created heavens. Third day, he created the earth and separated the seas and made the grass and the herbs and the trees. Fourth day, he made the lights, signs, seasons, days, and years. The fifth day, he made the fowls and the fish and the sea creatures. And the sixth day, he made cattle, creeping things, beasts, and man. He was busy 6 days and he rested the seventh. What does the master want you to be? Busy. But if the master is lazy, like this master, I'm going to show you these masters and judges, these lazy ones that we've been accustomed to liking. And we think that if we're the master, now everybody work for us. No, if you're a master, you got to do most of the work. Most of the work. The only reason you a master is because you do a lot of work. The only masters that don't do a lot of work is these fake masters. The only judges that don't teach anything are these fake judges, but they want everybody to listen to them. No, this is a real master that teaches and that works. In Isaiah the 56th chapter, the 9th verse, it says, all ye beasts of the field, come to devour, yes, all you beasts in the forest. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Yes, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough. And they are shepherds that cannot understand. They look all to their own way, everyone for his own gain from his quarter. That's what they're doing, using you up while you running all over the place. You up, washing their floors, buffing their shoes, taking care of their children, being their chauffeur, carrying their bag, bringing them all their food, ironing their clothes, working in their yard, making them money. And then they got the nerve to treat you with oppression. And they ain't did nothing. They got up at 11 o'clock. Y'all know how these bosses be. They get up late. They don't even come to work. But they the master. You putting in all the work, but they the master. They should be putting in most of the work. They should already have the work for you. Look, I already did this. That's how a master should talk to you. I've done this. And I did it by example. Now I need you to do it. Do the same. I've already done this, so now I can show you how to do it. That's what a master does. It says in verse 12, come ye, say they, I will fetch wine, and we will fill ourselves with strong drink. That's what they do. They getting drunk all day. They getting high all day. And tomorrow shall be as this day and much more abundant. Now, a real master knows it's not time to celebrate. It's not time to rejoice in our own works. It's time to work. But what is the masters today doing? Nothing. Because you don't see masters today. There's very few and far between will you see a real master and a real judge. What did the people do and you know that the masters and the judges were the ones that would direct you and guide you and lead you and teach you? Because let me show you what happens when the master and the judge ain't around. In the book of Judges, we go there to the fourth, let's start the third chapter. We're going to read about a judge named Ehud. In verse 26, and Ehud escaped while they tarried, and passed beyond the quarries, and escaped Sariah. And it came to pass when he had come that he blew the trumpet in the mount of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down with them from the mount, and before them. And he said to them, follow after me, for Yahweh has delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hands. And they went down after him, and took the fords of the Jordan toward Moab, and permitted not a man to pass over. And they slew of Moab at that time about 10,000 men. So Moab was subdued that they under the hand of Israel. And the land had rest 80 years, meaning 80 years, under this judge Ehud. And after him was Shamgar, the son of Anat, which slew of the Philistines 600 men with an ox goad, and he also delivered Israel. And within these 80 years. In the children of Israel, chapter 4, verse 1, because this man died. Ehud died. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahweh when Ehud was dead. He was the one leading them, teaching them in righteousness. And when he passed away, Israel became fools again, not knowing how to act, not knowing how to behave. Why? Because the judge was gone. The master was nowhere to be found. And Yahweh wants you to understand that if you're going to be a master, if you're going to be a judge, a leader in Israel, you got to rule by the fear of Yah. But you got to seek David and see that this man was a man after Yahweh's own heart. And he walked after Yahweh with his whole heart. And he loved Yahweh. He didn't let anyone get in his way of loving him. He served him. And he made sure that's what was done in his presence. We gonna serve Yah. You don't want to? You don't have to. But you're not gonna be wicked in my house. That's why when the judge died, the people did evil. Because who was directing the house now? Who was ordering the nation? Who was teaching them in matters of controversy? Who was showing them the structure? Who was giving them the blueprint? If it's not the master, if it's not the judge, who is it? You might not like the blueprint. You might not like the direction because you want to do your own thing. But Yahweh gave you that master and that judge so you won't do evil. You see that when they died, they did evil in their sight. When they alive, you can't wait till they gone. And when they did, you don't even know how to follow Yah. That's why it says this in the book of Isaiah, the 22nd chapter. No, the 33rd chapter. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 20. Look upon Zion, the city of our solemnities. Your eyes shall see Jerusalem, a quiet habitation, a tabernacle that shall not be taken down. Not one of the stakes thereof shall ever be removed, neither shall any of the cords thereof be broken. But there the glorious Yahweh will be unto us a place of broad rivers and streams, wherein shall go no galley with oars, neither shall gallant ships pass thereby. For Yahweh is our judge. Yahweh is our lawgiver. Yahweh is the one. That's what a real judge, a real master is going to let you know at all times. That Yahweh is the one we should be serving. Yahweh is the one we should be praising. Yahweh is the one we should be honoring. And that's all the judge is trying to teach you. That's why he has to fear Elohim, be a man of truth, and hate covetousness. Because ain't nobody here for you. You the judge because you was appointed the judge. You the master because you was appointed the master. And you was appointed to be that so the people that Yahweh gave you will serve him righteously. So you have to do that work. So they could do that work. Not them do the work and you just tell them what you think and what's up and this, that, and the third, but you ain't doing nothing. You not doing the work for real. You just out here eating fat off the hog. No, a real judge lets them know Yahweh's the judge. Why you say that, Judge? Because Yahweh gave me these judgments. Yahweh told me to tell you these judgments. He's the judge. I'm just the instrument to show you. And an instrument don't sound good when it's out of tune. An instrument don't look good when it's unkept. An instrument don't feel good when it's broken down. Who wants a guitar with no strings? A horn with clogged up tunnels? A piano with no keys? No, you want your piano to be in tune. You want your horn to be clean and shining. You want your guitar to have strings. And just like you want your instruments working, your forks and your plates, you want them all in order. Well, Yahweh wants his instruments in order. And that's what you are, an instrument of the Most High. And we need to raise that level. We can't walk around and claim that we the judges of the earth. Let me show you what it says in Psalms, the 82nd chapter. Our people love this scripture because it gives you accolades. It gives you recognition. It pumps up your self-esteem. Psalms 82, verse 1. Elohim stands in the congregation of the mighty. He judges among the Elohim. Who is this talking about? You? How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah. What should you do, Judge? Defend the poor and fatherless? How do you do that? What? Well, the poor don't have nothing. So defend them. Give them some defense. Yahweh said money is a defense. Well, get the poor some money. Maybe he needs defense from the cold. Give him a shirt. Maybe he needs defense from funk. Give him some soap. Judge him. Don't talk about him. Defend him. And the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. Why? Because the judges don't do what they supposed to. In Israel, you the judge. I have said, ye are Elohim. All of you are children of the Most High. You shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O Elohim, judge the earth, for you shall inherit all nations. So this is what the judge is supposed to do. Rule in justice and in righteousness. So you can be deserving of the honor that Yahweh said, if I am a father, where is my honor? If I am a master, wherein is my fear? And where is it at? Well, the only way you get it is by ruling in the fear of Yah. And until tomorrow, Yahweh loves you very much, and so do I. Shalom.
Yeah, 39 books. Yeah, come on. Yo, seek ye out the book of Yah and read. Speak these words to plant your holy seed. Obey his voice, know him and believe. Understand his Yah is none but he. In the beginning, he told us the ending that we wasn't winning because of the sinning. The 400 sentence of Shiloh's descendants needed repentance, and this is our Genesis to our Exodus in Leviticus. Learn some respect on this so we can number our days. teaches that